Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshi Sarvada Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Ganganapate Namaha Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanitrambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Gunatito Aksharam Brahma Bhagavan Purushottamah Jano Janandidam Satyam Muchyate Bhavabandhanat. Om Shri Swami Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Shri Lakshmi Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Shri Vasudev Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Shri Nar Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Shri Badri Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Shri Shiva Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Shri Rama Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Shri Satya Narayanaaya Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha, Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 23rd of January, 2023. Before we begin, I would like to offer my prostrations and Anantakoti Namaskaram to all the great sages and the incarnations of God who have come before in this world, who are here now and yet to come, and to the Supreme Parabrahma Paramatma residing in the heart of all beings. With that prayer, we are moving ahead into further understanding Swapna Avastha. There are 10 major factors that impact Swapna Avastha, impact sleep. Just a quick review from last time that the Avastha Traya is what we are examining. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Avastha. This is our experience. The rishis knew this, we know it today, and it will remain also in the lives of each human being. The avastha means state of experience. Who is the experiencer? The Atma. Atma is the discovery, to discover who you are, know thyself, realize thyself. Knowing, you cannot really know yourself, but you can realize yourself. So it is a realization of the Atma Tattva and the glory of Parabrahma Paramatma that we are aiming towards. So, what is the goal in Swapna Avastha? The goal is to purify the Swapna Avastha. The Swapna Avastha is a highly mixed, disordered, chaotic state. As a reference, I'm giving you in the BAPS Swaminarayan organization, the current Guruji who is there, Puja Mahan Swamiji, he used to explain, I've heard him say many times, that the Swapna Avastha is like what? It is like driving a car without a brake. In the Gujarati language, it's brake vagar nahi gaadi. Can you imagine driving a car? There's no brake. What it's like? It goes, and God knows it's going in any crazy direction. It is Swapna Avastha is like this. It is highly mixed. It is the result, in my opinion, at least, or in Sachin's perspective. I'm just putting it that way. It is the result of chaos and confusion in the Jagrat Avastha, as we have already stated before. Right? So if we want to make the Swapna Avastha better, if we want to make it purer, make it more steady, make the experience better, is it possible? Yes. But before we talk about that, I want to just mention about 10 major factors that impact sleep. The first one is age. So sleep quality, first of all, the quality of sleep is a subjective characteristic quality. Meaning what is your own quality? It's your own experience of that. So the quality is the overall conglomeration of these 10 factors. The first one is age. Depending on the age of the human being, right? The babies are going to dream much more, and the dreaming dies off. The amount of sleeping and that is needed changes throughout the lifespan. So there is the factor of age. Then there is illness. If there is illness that causes pain or physical distress, like arthritis, back pain, etc., physical health problems are going to impact sleep. I mean, we know this very well. That if there's pain in the body, it's going to disturb your sleep, obviously. So this is another reason why the physical body needs to be kept as healthy and as balanced as possible in every possible way. Why is that? So that the nighttime experience will be better. See, most people may not think of it that way, but should I keep my physical body healthy? so that my nighttime experience is better? Yes, you should. Absolutely. That is a factor number 2. Okay, so there are many conditions like respiratory conditions, pain of various kinds, need to urinate during the nighttime. So those kinds of problems are there. And then if those imbalances are remaining, that's going to impact significantly the quality and characteristic of the nighttime experience. And then if the nighttime sleep is not steady and healthy and restorative, then again, one wakes up tired and groggy, and then the next day is also pretty much messed up. Next day there are problems in the waking time. So one cycle affects another. A third and very important component of sleep is environment. So environment can promote or hinder sleep. This is why, this is why in most religious traditions, they say that do prayer before going to sleep. Prayer, some satsang, some good reading, some prarthana. Do that for half an hour before going to sleep. Turn the TV off and turn everything off, and then go to sleep. And if you do that regularly, the external environment that you're sitting in, and then the environment of your bedroom and all, is going to be much more better. It's going to be purified. You see, so the environment can promote and hinder sleep in general, but also it can promote or hinder the quality of sleep. So for example, we already know things like, noises in the environment can inhibit sleep. If people are banging on the door outside, or there's some noise on the outside, the sounds, etc., they hinder sleep. This is also very interesting that the 5 senses that are usually alive and awake in the waking time, they are cut off from this world to move into that dimension of sleep. But to move into that dimension of REM sleep and deep sleep and all, there should not be disturbance, noise pollution, or air pollution, noise pollution. Too much light in the room is also going to prevent that. It's interesting, if you think about it, that one has to cut off from the waking world to move into this dream world. Why is that? Why has nature or God created this like this? There's a big reason why Swapna Avastha exists. Because the brain needs time, the brain, the mind, the human being needs time to deal with all of the stimuli in the waking time and all of the onslaught of experience. So much of it is there, it needs time to process and to harmonize and to sort out and to deal with that somehow. So it is a processor. It's like a computer that is processing all the input. It's like that. So nighttime, there is a lot of processing going on, memory formation, synthesis of different experiences. Amazing. It's a tremendous power. And it has to happen also. The question for us in terms of meditation, spirituality, personal growth is that amount of processing is going to be relatively limited, and it'll become easier for the brain if there is zero disturbance in the daytime. We're moving with the experiences, but the experiences are not carried over into the nighttime. That's the challenge. If you want to take, somebody wants to take a spiritual challenge, adhyatmic challenge, that's a challenge in life. That can we live in the 7, 8, 10, 12 hours that we're awake and not carry anything over into the nighttime, except for God-related activities, satsang-related activities, Bhagwan Sambandhi Ahar, it's called. In Gujarati, we say that way. It is related to Bhagwan, related to spiritual. That will carry over naturally. But other things are left alone. They're not. The brain will automatically process whatever is needed to be processed. That is a question. You see, so that is our goal. So anyway, the environment makes a lot of difference. So the absence of unusual stimuli or the presence of familiar or unfamiliar stimuli can prevent people from sleeping. So usual stimuli, like you were used to sleeping in a particular room with a certain kind of pillow, with a certain kind of backrest or certain type of bed with a certain amount of lighting. We're used to that environment. That is our usual stimuli. And that stimuli is needed. You know how we say, I need my favorite pillow. People sometimes carry their pillow when they travel to somewhere, they're going somewhere else. They say, no, I cannot live without my pillow. I cannot use some new pillow. I have to have my pillow that my neck is set in properly and all that thing. What is that? That is usual stimuli. Even the clothes we wear. Some people like to wear just a t-shirt or some nighttime. We wear nighttime clothes. Some people don't wear any clothes. Some people wear some very limited clothes. Whatever it is, it's all a matter of comfort. See, it's very interesting. We talked about samadhi before. In reality, sleep can be a type of samadhi. It's very interesting. Why? If the sleep is very steady, very peaceful, very harmonious, there's no discomfort from the environment, there's no unusual stimuli, there's no influence of any kind of snoring of others and other kinds of disturbances, and all those things are going on. This nighttime experience can be a samadhi experience without going into that nirvikalpa samadhi we're talking about, because that's a little different matter. Without going into those things, allowing Bhagwan, asking God to reveal himself, itself, herself in the dream state. Is that possible? Yes. Actually, we have the opportunity to see God every night. We have that opportunity. We don't take it. We have the opportunity to be completely aware of the Atma every night. We don't take it. We don't take that opportunity. What we do is we're playing around with the objects of the world and all the content of the daytime experience, and that's all we're constantly thinking about. There's a Vachanamrut, Garada Pratham number 20. Very interesting. There's a question asked by one of the Paramahansas to Maharaj. He says, Maharaj, you're saying that, that the Atma, you're talking about the Atma and you can realize the Atma. How can one see the Atma? Maharaj said that if you want to see the Atma, meaning if you want to realize the Atma, you can. But what you're doing is out of Agnan, you're going into that Swapna Avastha. But out of Gnan, stay awake and you are the Atma. It is remaining Jagrut, awake, fully in consciousness, in the nighttime. And that awakeness, that Jagruti in the nighttime, that brings the revelation of the Atma. So one can attach to Paramatma, one can be active, the mind can be active in attaching to Bhagavan, in bhakti, in mantra, sadhana, in other, there's ways of attaching to Paramatma even at nighttime. Most human beings just wind up in the unconscious state of just the dream world, and they can have no control over it. They have no way to freely move through that. Humanity is bound and imprisoned by Swapna Avastha. Humanity is trapped inside the jail of Swapna Avastha. But to be awake in that, my God, what a state of realization. What a beautiful life that is. It is a life of great harmony. It is a life of constant divine anubhuti, divya anubhuti. The mind is not playing with the objects of this world. You know how when we're little children, we play with those toys and matchbox cars and all those small things. After we get into teenage and beyond, we don't play with all those small things. The human being, once he evolves into a divine being, realizes this, stops playing around with the objects of this world. He realizes isme kuch hai hi nahi. Not because of dvesh, not because of dislike. No, not that. It is a realization that of its utter limitation, of its utter futility, of its utter non-consequence. It is inconsequential up to the point of the 14 lokas, as per Shankaracharya Ji and Bhagwan Swaminarayan both. 14 lokas are inconsequential. Where is the issue of this world? Where is the issue of this town or this, what is going on in the daily news and all that? What difference any of it makes? It makes a difference. We do our duties and all that. It is the same process going in a circle. That's all it is. There's nothing new in that. Same rag, dvesh, aham, mamatva, back and forth. Economy is up, economy is down, stock market is up. Some countries warring with another. Somebody's trying to grab power from it. Some good things are going on also. Lots of good quality activities. People are doing good things in this world also. That's nothing new in that also. इसमें new क्या है? You know what's new? Is to realize yourself. That is new. Everything else is old. So Vivek Chudamani is an invitation to discover the Atma Tattva, that is pure Amalam Atma Tattvam, as per verse 65. We're still on that one verse. We may never come out of it at this point, but it is like that. It is Amalam. It is absolutely the purest of the pure. That is the Atma Tattva and the Paramatma within. But again, experientially, the objects that show up in the Swapna Avastha are all programmed inside the mind. So what do you do with them? Leave them alone. Leaving them alone and not diving back into them again and again is what is known as awareness. It is Jagruti. It is the awareness and awakened awareness at nighttime, particularly in the transition from the waking into the dream state. That transition is about a 90-minute period. And in that transition, as you're slowing down the breath, it is an opportunity to move into samadhi. It is a yogic samadhi. Rather than getting into the chaos of the Swapna Avastha, the mind is highly energized, and the energies that are used to create the dream world do not create the dream world. They remain intact in a yogic state and are connected to Bhagavan. It is a much higher upasana that is done in the transition. If we talk about worship of God, Bhagwan ka sambandh, that transition between Jagrat and Swapna Avastha, that in that transition, when worship is performed, when connection with Bhagwan is performed, that is a much higher level of devotion. And it is Jnana also. It is all combined together. Because in that transition, we are cut off. We are just wanting to move into that zone. The mind goes into that zone of Swapna Avastha. Because it is trying to recover from the trauma of the waking Avastha. It is a trauma, nothing other than that. We are traumatizing ourselves again and again. This morning I was at my cardiac rehab, and there was some news show going on. I watched only 3 minutes of it, and there's so much violence and some police cars and this and that. And I said, "What is this? This is a poison only, nothing else." And that poisons the whole day. And so your mind then has to deal with that, because nobody wants to have all those images inside their mind. So this is why the Swapna Avastha is created, because of so much poisonous, terrible things that are inputted inside the mind day in and day out. And the mind is having to deal with that, has to sort it out, has to deal with the emotional onslaught. Even if you watch a movie where there is a murder scene, somebody's being burned, somebody's being this, these images are stored inside the mind, and the mind has to put them away, put them into the subconscious. Nobody wants to remember those things. But when we're watching them, we are like, so our emotions are so heightened and they're stimulated, so we get interested in watching that. See the Agnan. We're interested in getting attached to painful and binding events because of the stimulation that is in them. So what happens? The mind is traumatized during the daytime. No wonder there are so many health problems. No wonder there are so many sleep disorders. No wonder there are so many family conflicts and so much trouble humanity is suffering. Because its main cause is the Panch Jnanendriya. Garada Pratham number 18 Vachanamrut. Maharaj is very clear on this point, That the five senses, what we're inputting inside the mind through the five senses, is the cause of all of these problems. And that response, that viveka is lost. And it is a constant bombarding. It's a constant, anywhere you turn, you're being bombarded. You're driving on the freeway, there are signs after signs, billboards after billboards after billboards. There's a bombarding of the mind to sell materials, to sell products, advertisements, etc. And then the mind, what the mind is a trash can? What is it actually? A trash bin hai? It's a trash can. You just dump any darn thing inside there? No. One who is awakened must have viveka in the Jagrat Avastha, what to put inside the mind. Through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through the tongue, through the speech, through the touch, everything. What is it that is going inside the mind? And then, of course, we have to do our beautiful studies, do our work, whatever it might be. But even when we're going for a job, only karma yoga and nothing else. No attachment to any of the people over there, zero. The moment a person gets attached to these co-workers, you're finished right there. Because that's a trap also. You're working in one office for many years. You become emotionally entangled with all the people over there. And then bound over there and stuck over there. The whole you love them, serve them, do the best job. Never any entanglement. It's called Jivan Mukti. To live in the world, but to consider that nobody in this world is ours. Not one being even. Not one thing even, not one being even. That is Param Vairagya. And in that Vairagya, there is love for all. There's love for everybody, not for a limited group of people. And there's definitely no attachment towards anyone. That attachment is what kills the energy from inside. It sucks the energy, drains the energy. And then what does it do? What does it do? It doesn't produce the result we're looking for. We're looking for ananda. What is it that's produced? All mixed experience. And then the pain that occurs, the difficulties that occur. इसी के लिए आदि शंकराचार्य जी कहते हैं रुते ज्ञानान मुक्ति ही. There is no mukti, no moksha without jnana. Jnana is so beautiful. Jnana is beauty. It is saundarya. It is sundarta. It is divinity. It is freedom. It is freedom while living in the world with everybody. Everybody's mine. Functionally, we live with a family, with a certain work environment, with love, affection, care, in the naturally. But why not hold on to enlightenment? Why not? Who is preventing us from reaching enlightenment? Nobody is. If we want enlightenment, it's available for us right now. It's not later on. And what is available for us? To declare the Mahavakya that I am the Brahman, Nijatmanam, Brahmarupam, Dehatraya Vilakshanam, Vibhavitena Kartavya Bhaktihi Krishnasya Sarvada. This is Shikshapatri Shlok 116. It is the heart of the entire Swaminarayan Sampradaya. And the heart of all Sanatana Dharma scriptures is one shloka only. That you are the Brahman. If you are the Brahman, who is not yours and who is yours? Sachin says, okay, I'm Sachin, this is my family. Oh, this is my limited group of people. No. I am Akshara Brahma. If we say, I am Akshara Brahma, who is not yours? Because everything is within the Akshara Brahma. And so the boundary that this limited group of people is mine, that is completely obliterated. Even though functionally, interactionally, Vevarika, we are living within boundaries. That's the secret, to live within the boundaries, but internally to be out of the boundaries. There's no boundary. So internally the boundaries disappear. Externally, we live within them functionally as needed. Different languages are there, different ways. That is the interactional world we have to live in. That's okay. It's a harmony. It's a harmony between the two, that harmonious realization between the harmonious living, between the infinite consciousness that I am the infinite Brahman and this limited interactional, transactional life of various types. Okay, so actually that interactional, transactional life is very, very smooth. People say, we want a smooth life. We want a very happy life. We want to have a good experience at nighttime every day. We don't want to wake up tired and all that. Sure. All that is needed really is to directly declare that you are the Brahman. I am the Brahman. I am not this small being. And what I am not and what I am. Shankaracharya Ji's entire point of view, entire insistence is that you are the Brahman, Tattvam Asi. You are not this small, limited, tormented, fragmented, limited, bound person as you think you are. No, that's not who you are. So when we say that I am not this limited being, but I am the vast, and I am the devotee, bhakti krishnasya sarvada. I am at the feet of Bhagwan Paramatma, at the feet of the Lord all the time. What more freedom is there? That is the life of absolute freedom. Freedom is available for us now. So how does this look like? What does it look like? It's a life with a boundaryless vision and interaction as needed to work in the world as karma yoga without binding. So the action is also performed beautifully, correctly, as perfectly as it can. And one gets a lot of praise and lots of good things come from others. One is very steady. One is not running after praise. One praise and Aishwarya and glory follows such a person. Siddhis follow such a person. Person is not distracted by that because he or she is a karma yogi. He's performing karma with a yogic attitude, with jnanam. That is called karma yoga. So in that karma yoga, there is so much ananda. And then one dives back. See, when the activity is done, worldly activity is done, one dives back into higher contemplation. Naturally one dives back into that because that is the source of ananda. That is Bhagavan. One dives back into that joy of that Parabrahma Paramatma. Again and again and again. Again, using a financial example, easy to understand. If somebody's a billionaire and that person is performing some worldly activity, whatever it is, they're going for shopping or they're doing some physical activity. So maybe they're putting their energy concentration, but they're never forgetting who they are, and they dive. And when they relax, their mind immediately goes back into that sense, I am a billionaire. They never forget that. Can you imagine someone like Bill Gates or some of these top guys who are there, these billionaires in the world? They don't forget who, so they're constantly energized from inside because of that remembrance of the power that is available to them. So they are tremendously energized because of that background power. That is also part of Maya, no doubt. But we can see that. Much more than that, billions of times more than that, is the realization, I am the Brahman. Just that, and wherever you are, that is more than the way it is described. Ananta Koti Brahmand ka jo sukh hai. In Vachanamrut, Sarangpur 10. Sarangpur is a small village, by the way, very small village. Now it's developed quite a bit in Gujarat. Maharaj spoke big, very big things in tiny little villages. Amazing, He said that if you take the bliss, the sukha of Ananta Koti, infinite Brahmanda, they are not even comparable to one particle, 1/1,000,000th of a particle of the body of God. So where's the issue of anything that is in this world? Infinite universes are nothing compared to that Parabrahma Paramatma. ऐसी बात है. So if one declares I am the Brahman and one stays in that state while living in this world but dives into the depths of adhyatmic contemplation, into the depths of truths, and bhajan, bhakti, manan, chintan, higher ideas, then this whole world and its activity is childlike. It doesn't bother the devotee at all. One lives in it, but one also recognizes that it is just a droplet. One lives in it carefully, does what is needed, everything, no doubt. But when one dives inside, it's just like that billionaire. He may go to different stores, different places, does everything like as any other human being might do. Looks just like any other human being, but is not like other human beings. Because if that person chooses, they could do tremendous things with the amount of money that they have. They can affect the lives of millions of people. They can build big buildings, and they can build organizations, and they can do so much because of that, because of the potentiality. That's the worldly power. Similarly, adhyatmic power is such that adhyatmic power, what is that adhyatmic power used for? The devotee, bhakta, uses it only for one purpose. The real pure jo bhakta hai na, they only use for one purpose, that is to connect into the source of Ananda Kanda, that is Bhagwan Paramatma. They don't want anything other than Paramatma. And wanting something other than Paramatma is a massive deficiency. Massive. The degradation is tremendous in that. It's a massive deficiency. It's like asking, the $100 billion person, can you afford to give me a piece of chocolate? How foolish is this? You're asking, he's saying, I'm giving you whatever you want. And you say, give me 2 chocolate pieces. That's what this is like. He said, rather than you give me what you are, yourself completely. Meaning what? Who you are. See, what is it that Bhagwan wants to give the Bhakta? Bhagwan wants to give completely what is Paramatma to the Bhakta. इसको क्या कहते हैं? इसको प्रभु जी तुम चंदन अहम पानी. That oneness, then what? When the Bhakta is lost inside Paramatma, then what opens up in that is beyond any description. Ananta Koti Brahmand bhi kuch nahi hai isme. The Bhakta is just sitting in one place, just for a few minutes even, and flashes of these realizations come at nighttime, at daytime, at any time. And in that the Bhakta is diving into the highest of consciousness. Where is the issue of running after anything in this world at that point? All the Vishayas, the Panch Vishayas, become equalized naturally. They're there. Okay, some amount is needed for survival, etc. Wo bhi Bhagwan ki ichha. No issue at all. That kind of divine life, higher consciousness life, we see in the lives of evolved sages today. They don't have much possession even. They don't need it also. Even J. Krishnamurti said, the greater the outward show, the greater the inward poverty. The internal poverty is the problem. But those who are rich from inside not need so much from outside. Those who are wanting more and more from outside are very poor from inside. That is the difference between poverty and wealth in the real sense. So to wrap it up for today, the Swapna Avastha is an opportunity to see God. Is an opportunity to invite God into your system. Even the Jagrata Avastha is also. But Swapna Avastha, particularly where you are resting and you're not getting the stimuli of the Jagrata Avastha. So when you are resting in a yogic state, inside the murti, the way in Vachanamrut or in Swaminarayan Satsang, this is described as Bhagwan ni murti ma revu. Bhagwan ni murti sathe revu. Bhagwan sathe revu. Means keep Parabrahma Paramatma with you. You will see the magic that happens. By Agnan we are going into Swapna Avastha as per Garuda Pratham 20. It is out of Agnan. But when we are harmonized and awakened in the form of Paramatma, Parabrahma Paramatma, in the Swarup of Parabrahma Paramatma. When we're awakened in that, the Swapna Avastha is a Divya Avastha, or by Krupa, by the grace of Parabrahma, by the grace of God, He comes to you and reveals Himself in His own way, in its own way, at night time. And those are further impetus to continue further sadhana, further development. ये भगवान का दर्शन होता है. In Vachanamrut, Maharaj is very clear that when God comes to you in the dream, if you see spiritual related material or activity in the dream, or you see the images of God or the avataras, or you see sages, you should consider that that is a real spiritual experience, that Bhagwan is coming to you in that way. This is the glory of Swapna Avastha. We'll talk more about all the other 8 dimensions as we move ahead, because I do want to cover this in some depth. And this is all part of, Maya Karya. What is Maya Karya? And what is Maya Karya Rohitam? To go outside the Maya Karya. This is what we are touching upon carefully, one step at a time. Let's do the Mantra Pushpanjali, and we will continue tomorrow on this.